Alright guys, this is Coach Clash. I'm here today with you with some gameplay footage reviewing a deck that I've been using for quite a while. It's one of my favorites. It's a bait deck featuring the Minion Horde, Barrel Goblin, Giant Skeleton, Regular Goblins, Ice Wizard, Skeleton Army, Fireball, and something else. Anyway, here we go. I'm getting kicked off. So now, I really like my opponent's opening here. It looks like just a witch, which is normally pretty easy to handle. So I run my favorite combination, which is the Barrel Goblin and Minion Horde, whenever I think I've got a decent advantage. So now he opens with the Lumberjack and the Witch. I Fireball, take out the Lumberjack for the most part. But now the clone that he does here is what really threw me for a loop. So that took me all the way down to about 1000 HP just right off the bat. So that was a really nice opening. I did have a very effective opening as well, so it wasn't the end of the world, but it means I have to play very defensively to make sure I don't leave myself open to that again. So now here he comes in with another push. We've got the giant skeleton to thwart that pretty quickly, so that's easily one of my favorite defensive cards. So if you can ever work that into one of your decks to where it works out for you, I would highly recommend it. Alright, so let's see what happens next here. So he's got the elite barbs. Now I'm going to counter that with the fireball and the skeleton army, and that should clean him up pretty nicely. He has it coupled with the fire minions, which really makes it tough to handle with just the skeleton army alone. So now he's going to try to run the same play he did in the opening. He plays the witch, so I know that if I play the goblins over here, I'm going to draw a card. So that means that I drew out his lumberjack on the opposite side, so now he can't run the same play. So he has the rage on nothing on the right side, and then now my giant skeleton is going to clean up the witch pretty nicely. I think I took maybe 50 damage there. That's nothing. So my ice wizard, who just got a boost or a buff rather, he went ahead and just got a couple small hits. Now here, my barrel is gonna take them out. I didn't need to play minions, but I'm gonna be alright. I've got the skeleton army and the regular goblins to handle his elite barbs. So that's really no problem. Alright, so now he's got the lumberjack coming in. I'm going to go ahead and just set up my defense. That's all I really want to do for the rest of the time. So that's no problem. Now I'm actually going to be able to attack here. So let's see how this works out for us. So I've got a pretty good amount coming in on him, so it looks like I am going to be able to take both towers. His elite barbs are going to have no chance. I just spawn in some simple goblins to keep him at bay from taking even one tower. Not quite able to take 3, but that'll do for today. So that was our first match. So that went pretty well. Let's take a look at what we have here. So I believe this is the golem deck that we're facing. This is a pretty strong golem deck, facing a level 11 player while I'm only level 10. So these are all ladder matches. I do play tournament, but these are ladder for today. So now, let's see, he starts with a golem. So that means that I need to really try to make something happen while he's down an elixir. So what I do is I have a really cheap play where I sneak in my ice wizard and try to distract the tower with him while my goblins come in and hit the tower a couple times. So it worked out pretty well there. It's a really nice efficient way to put some damage on the board. So now here I'm not going to have much problem dispatching with golem. I have the inferno tower and the skeleton army. No problem. Whenever you have a golem, obviously, the inferno tower is your best friend. Now here I get pretty lucky that he gets a little bit worried and fireballs me. So that puts him down to elixir, which is going to put me in position to attack. So I'm going to sink out my barrel and my horde on the left side and make some things happen over there. Alright, so here, just not a whole lot happening. I decide to just, play a very non-committing Ice Wizard down at the bottom left. Now he's got the golem building up, so I'm going to have to prepare for his push. So I go ahead and sort of forfeit my Ice Wizard. He's just in no man's land, and we're going to have the Inferno Tower defending. Now he uses a tornado to draw my giant skeleton into the middle, but that's not going to be very effective because the amount of time that it takes to kill the giant skeleton, I'm able to spawn in another card. So here I'll distract the baby dragon with the Ice Wizard and spawn in giant skeleton once again to take out his knight, musketeer, and really anybody in the path. Now whenever he does get drawn to the middle like that, it's minor inconvenience, but I'm able to pop in the skeleton army and really hold my own here. So here I'm just trying to clean up so I can actually make a push, because I see that I am prepared to make a push. I didn't really want to have to use my minions to take out the baby dragon, but I did. I ended up getting these two synced up, and his tornado actually draws me right up next to the tower, so that's really convenient. Get some nice hits there. Now we're in overtime, so we don't have too much left to take care of. We've got our defense running strong. He's not able to penetrate whatsoever. Unless he does use that tornado, but it hasn't been very effective for him, so I'd imagine he tried to save that, even though that's not quite yet in his shuffle. So now here, he does use a tornado on my push, but it draws everything to the center and leaves the back open for the barrel goblins. So that is a good game there. No problem. So hopefully that helps you guys on how to approach a golem deck with this style of play. Alright, so he's coming in hot with the hog. So I'm going to have to drop the skeleton army and sustain some damage. My Ice Wizard's taking care of those minions, but, the hog did his damage. He said what he had to say. We're going to try to sneak in once again with the goblins, but not able to do so. The Electro Wizard. But my barrel goblins, they did their fair share. Just a little punch or two. Alright, now here we're dropping in a giant skeleton because I sustained so much damage. I don't want him to be able to take any towers early. So it seemed like an overcommit, but because he dropped such a heavy card in return, those barbarians, it really kind of worked in my favor. So I have the Ice Wizard here. Just going up the left side, I'll be able to counter very easily his Royal Giant. So he doesn't decide to run the hog in too. He just sends it in alone to die. No problem. I got some great value from the Ice Wizard, getting some hits on the minions there, making it so that they're not going to be able to reach the tower no matter what. And here we go, trying to run my offensive combo, but his hog kind of holds up my minions, but it looks like, no, not quite. The Electro Wizard will make it so I'm not able to reach the tower with any of my light troops. So I do have the lead here, but let's see if we can close this out. We've got a minute 15 left of gameplay. Alright, so he spawns in the Royal Giant, and I'm going to cycle to the Inferno, so I prefer to have it placed towards the center more, but this will work in a quick cycle play like that. Just glad to have the Royal Giant gone. Now we need to get on the offensive, get that tower down. So we're going to try to run a cheap play, and it works. Our goblins are able to sneak through, the barrel lands, and we've got the fireball for the crown. And we're just going to clog up our lane. Nothing the Electro Wizard can do. I actually have a surplus of elixir. So now that was a mistake that I made when playing the Inferno. I was thinking about the hog coming in, but I should have known the Royal Giant. So I had to kind of compensate here, play a little catch up. But the way my deck is designed is it's not too difficult to take down a chunky target like the Royal Giant rather quickly. So now I've got the hog coming in. I have to mitigate that guy Just gonna drop some skeletons around him, and he actually won't die, but he won't be able to take my tower before time's out. So good game. This has been ClashCoach.us. Please visit my website or follow me on Twitter at ClashCoach.